When we're coaching, one of the most positive things that we can do is help people come to their own conclusions. Now, I think even as professional coaches, managers, leaders, we all have that knee-jerk reaction to do what? Solve the problem for them. Tell them where they need to go. And sometimes we're 100% correct, but there is a tremendous value in people coming to their own conclusions versus someone telling them the conclusion and the path they need to follow. So how do we do that? Well, one, at its most fundamental state, we need to keep the conversation going. So often when I lead sessions or conferences or lead large leadership groups, I always get the question from a lot of people. Well, what happens when they don't respond or they didn't answer the way you thought? Should I just tell them what to do? And what they're really saying is, I don't know how to keep the conversation going. Not because they're bad people, because they need coaching help. They need coaching conversational excellence. So one of the best things that you can do is to use something called a progression. So what I try to do is always start with a what question. Then after a what question, depending upon their answer, I will ask what are called drill down questions, what and why questions. Now, if I want them to expand and widen their set of responses within that progression or that model, I will use something called bridge statements. Let me explain. So if I ask my coaching person, Charlie, so what are you going to do to collaborate more with your team? And let's say Charlie's pulled back and he likes to work on his own and people don't feel like they can trust him because he's not really engaged within a team environment. So we'll use that as our hypothetical. And if I ask him that what question, and he might say, well, I think I need to speak up more at meetings. I can now go to a drill down question. Well, why do you think that'll pull yourself closer to your teammates? He gives an answer. Well, how do you think you're going to go about positioning yourself to do that successfully? Second drill down question. And he might say, well, I think I have to become more confident. Well, tell me more about that. Bridge statement. He gives me some more responses. Well, name another way you're going to become more confident, Charlie. So what I just demonstrated for you, albeit probably too quickly, is I asked a what question, then I went to a how, then I went to a why, and then I went to bridge statements. And bridge statements are designed to keep the conversation or keep the person talking. Name another. Could you elaborate? Tell me one more. How come? And they're short statements that keep the conversation going. Your statement should not be filled with a noun, a verb, and 2 or 3 sentences. They should be 2 or 3 words. How come? Tell me more. Name another. That's interesting. How come? Those type of statements keep the person going. So I always love to teach this thing called coaching progressions. Again, a progression is a set of questions and statements that are woven into a conversational model strategy. That's what a progression is. But the reason we call them coaching progressions is because you're actually progressing in the conversation. So when you keep the conversation going, inevitably, you're going to find out something. You're going to be positioned. You're going to get closer to where you have an opportunity to practice, to help, to guide, to mentor, or what have you. Good luck.